Michael Voss stood under the MCG lights, shoulders tense, his voice steady but edged with frustration. He had just watched his Carlton side pull off a nerve-rattling victory, a win that was both exhilarating and exasperating. The scoreboard read 11.1278 to 11.470, a modest margin that did little to tell the full story of a match that swung wildly from domination to desperation. A game where the Blues looked untouchable in the first half, only to flirt with disaster after the main break. For Voss, the game was a mirror, reflecting both progress and a persistent flaw. His team had done the hard work early. They'd built a 38-point buffer, suffocating Essendon with pressure, intensity, and clinical ball movement. The Bombers barely had time to breathe, let alone score. And then, it unraveled. Essendon, as they had a week prior, rose from the ashes. They clawed, they surged, they fought. Carlton, meanwhile, wobbled. Again. The pattern was no longer a coincidence. It was a trend. By three-quarter time, Voss was furious. Not performative, camera-friendly anger. Genuine, boiling frustration. He could be seen unleashing in the huddle, barking instructions, demanding focus. His team had worked too hard to toss it all away. Again. But this time, they held on. Barely. For Voss, the post-match emotions were complex. Relief, of course, a win is a win, and in the tight race for finals, every 4 points matter. But also reflection. Because while his team walks away with victory, the questions remain. Still, Voss remains clear-eyed about the problem. And in typical Voss fashion, he flips the narrative. It's a good problem to have, he told the media afterward. If you're in front by that much and getting that many opportunities, it's a good problem to solve. His words weren't spin, they were perspective. In his eyes, a team that builds leads and then lets them slip is still more dangerous than one that never gets close. And in this case, that team was Essendon. The harder one to solve, Voss continued, is you're behind all the time. You get no opportunities, and you're trying to win the game from a completely negative base. That's what separates Carlton from Essendon right now. The Blues may lack polish in the final act, but at least they're writing the script. The Bombers, on the other hand, are constantly chasing. Voss knows Carlton's fadeouts are frustrating. He knows fans are biting nails and grinding teeth in those final quarters. But he also knows that foundation is everything, and his team is building something. The mid-season bye had been spent analyzing, correcting, resetting. Yet even Voss admits, it won't be fixed immediately. Because this isn't a whiteboard problem. It's mental. It's composure. It's leadership in the chaos of a final term. And it's experience. Carlton is still becoming. What the Blues showed on Sunday was both their potential and their peril. When they're on, they play some of the most damaging football in the league. The midfield rolls like thunder, the forwards swarm, the backline rebounds with bite. But when momentum shifts, and it always does, they struggle to wrestle it back. Against a team like Essendon, who thrives on chaos and comeback footy, that's dangerous. But even with the lapse, Carlton had enough. Enough grit. Enough class. Enough awareness to ride out the storm. That's what separates winners from almosts. And in that final stretch, when the Bombers pushed and prodded, Carlton didn't break. They dug in. The margin shrank, the noise grew, the tension built, and still, they endured. Players like Charlie Curnow and Patrick Cripps led with actions. Youngsters stood tall. It wasn't clean, but it was courageous. Voss won't be satisfied. Not yet. He's seen what this team is capable of. And that's the most exciting, and maddening, part. Because this Carlton side still hasn't hit its ceiling. Essendon, meanwhile, are left ruining another slow start. Another game given away in the opening term. Another climb that came too late. For their coach, the message will be blunt: stop reacting. Start dictating. But Sunday night wasn't about Essendon. It was about Carlton surviving their own demons. About Voss standing firm, even when the ground beneath him shook. He knows the questions are coming. About fitness, game management, leadership. About the dreaded fadeouts. And he's already got his answer. It's a better problem than most, he says. And maybe it is. Because winning ugly is still winning. And when Carlton finally figures out how to sustain their best footy, watch out. For now, they move forward. One hard-earned win closer to September. One lesson deeper into the journey. Michael Voss knows there's work to do. But he also knows that problems built from success are the kind you want. This team isn't perfect. But it's real. It's fighting. It's learning. And as long as they keep winning, the rest will come.